So let's work on the admin side then. We got a products.js file, and in the end I want to render my products there. So what we can do is we can copy the product list.js file content, and in products.js in the admin area, we can copy that in. If I now reload this page, we see the same as we see on shop and products, but obviously I want to show different buttons there, let's say, so that we can edit or delete them there. And of course, we could even change the whole way we display the products, but for now, let's focus on the logic and less on how we display that. So here, I have my add to cart button. Now time to change this maybe to a edit button. And let's add a second button where I say delete. With that, if we reload, these two buttons are now there. Now obviously, they don't do anything if I click them, just as the add to cart button doesn't do anything, by the way. So as a next step, I want to make sure I can load this to edit it. And now to do that, I first of all need to make sure that clicking this button does send a request. And actually, I want to send a simple GET request and get onto another page. We could change this to a link with a reference to another page like this. If we do that, doesn't look too bad. Styling changed a bit because, well, some things would have to be adjusted, and I will do that later. Now we got that link, which should of course now lead us to /admin/added product, like this. If I do that, we get to the page not found page because we haven't registered a route yet. And the reason for this is that we don't just need to go to /added product, but obviously we want to go to a very different route here. We want to make sure that we go to a route where we know which product to edit. So actually we'll need to pass something dynamic as part of that URL. It would be great if we could pass something like added product for the ID 1, and then we can retrieve that ID in the route that we're loading so that we know which product we need to fetch from the database or from our file for now. Now, this is some logic we'll add in the next module though, because some people might have skipped this module. So let's ignore this for now and let's focus on deleting. But to be honest, we'll face the same problem there because we want to delete a specific product and not all products, obviously. So therefore here, we can also add a link, but technically a delete process should not send a GET request to some route. Instead here, I will simply wrap this in a form, which leads to admin delete product and sends a post request there to indicate that we really want to change something and not just load something or display something. And then I wrap my button in there and give it a type submit so that it does submit this. So now we got that connected. And therefore on admin products, you see that changed due to the form I added. We'll work on the styling, or I will work on the styling between modules. Both styles or both routes will not work because we haven't implemented them, but we'll do that later. The same problem can be found for our add to cart here, by the way. There, I also want to do something which needs extra information. I need to have the ID of the product I want to add, and I want to add it to the route we're loading or to the path we're loading. So here I also want to have a form which goes to something like add to cart. We don't have that route yet. And then adds a method, post. And then here I will have a button inside of that form. And obviously I don't just want to go to add to cart, but I would want something like add to cart 1 so that I know which product with which ID to add to a cart. But again, this is something I will do in the next module, just as for the admin routes. So for now, we're pretty much done. We added more views. We restructured our controller a little bit. We practiced what we did thus far. But now, of course, the exciting thing will be when we finally start working more with dynamic data in our route paths, and when we therefore can start adding items to the cart and editing and deleting items. We'll do that over the next modules, of course.